Okay, recording a wee video for this reply because it's kind of what I do sometimes. So an absolutely massive thanks to all the people at Positive Trumpeters Worldwide. Incidentally, this is a little video. I thought about doing it live, but I am no way confident enough in my internet connection to make that happen. So I'm just doing a wee recorded one here. I posted in Positive Trumpeters Worldwide yesterday about a Flugel Horn issue that I'm having, and I have had some fantastic comments, and it's all absolute golden, and there's some real common sense stuff there that I'm kicking myself that I didn't think of, and also, and especially a big thanks out to Josh Zepka who called me from Chicago. um, I thought that was especially nice just to take the time to do that. So the long and short of it was that I'm covering a touring show in Edinburgh just now. Their main trumpet player's off with an arm issue, and there's quite a bit of switching between trumpet and flugelhorn, and I have no issue with playing flugelhorn whatsoever. But within the show, essentially, playing and the notes cutting out, starting and cutting out, or just airballing, and I was absolutely stumped. Couldn't understand why this is happening. So the long and the short of it is, a lot of comments basically, is it clean? Yes, and was there an issue with corks or leaks anywhere? And checked all that out, and there wasn't. So the routes that I have actually taken to try and rectify this have been pretty much what everyone has suggested. The most common sense, or the most obvious one, is actually that excuse me, is actually that I should practice more flugelhorn, and that's actually the most, I think, obvious statement out there. I always have just picked up flugelhorn, mouthpiece in and gone, and it's been fine. However, it's a little bit more obvious that that isn't the case anymore for me. Maybe it's changed. Ongoing things with the teeth, as you all know, that's all seems to be fine, but maybe something's changed in my general makeup that's not the case. And I know environment, so in terms of, for me, thinking of environment, it's our ears and how I'm interacting with the sound, etc. And the headphones on, one off. It's a very, very loud pit in this particular theatre, so anyway, there's a whole manner of things. One of the things that Josh said was the interaction with the sound, and I hope I'm not stealing any of your thunder here, Josh, in that this is something that you usually charge for. But I won't go into too much detail in terms of relating to the blow of the mouthpiece that we use in the flugelhorns and the depth of it and how we support vice versa. I'm not going to go into depth of it because it was some very great information that's kind of stuck in my head. And by all means, give Josh a wee shout if you want to go into that any further. Needless to say, it's kind of thought about. It's made me think a little bit more about how I interact with the instrument. And the main upshot of that is what I've just said, which is really interacting with the instrument more often than on a gig. And the flugelhorn could sit in the case for months if it hasn't been used in a big band gig or something like that. So that's really where I am going to take a lot of the advice. Something else that a lot of people have actually commented on or used, let's say, an analogy for, is thinking about it as warm air. And I am familiar with this. Sorry, bit of a frog in my throat. And the best way that I can think about putting warm air into my own words, apart from the very obvious feeling of the instrument and everything feels nice and warm, and you get a lovely, nice kind of through flow of air, is that the air is all connected all the way down here through the body, and it really is for me. And this equates to trumpet playing as well. It's an engagement of air from the end of the instrument, like even beyond the end of the instrument to inside the body. And that connection can only come through, I suppose, a degree of warmth. This is me that's thinking this. I'm not saying that anyone else has said this. A degree of warmth in terms of being warmed up, and everything's warmed up. So to go a little bit further down that rabbit hole, what I'm thinking is that when I'm picking up the flugelhorn in the pit, and it's not particularly warm. It might have been sitting down there for a chart or two, and like this is pretty intense on the trumpet this show. So it's not as though I'm constantly going between two. So a couple of numbers go past, and the flugel horn won't get played. So there's the actual component of the instrument itself is cold, and the air inside is cold. It's very hard to warm that instrument up without actually blowing it, which you can't do when there's a show ongoing. Blowing air through, yes. But the component that I'm trying to think about of as well, in terms of this connection of the air from down here to out there, is the ears, you know? And that component for me seems to be quite important. I've always talked about my ears being connected to my lips via the sound. And that's something that, how am I going to get around? More practice. So, just to prove that I am playing the flugel horn okay, I'll make something up. No. And I love some of the chats about trying to maintain an actual flugelhorn, that kind of actual French horny tenor horn type sound on the instrument. And I've always strived for that. I've not tried to or wanted to go down the particularly poppy flugelhorn sound for any particular reason. And I feel that disconnect is something else that has only been caused by my lack of respect for this little instrument here, which sadly I've been calling the ugly sister for a long time, and you know, it really does deserve a lot more work. So once again, thanks very much to everyone. Problem is not solved. Last night's show was better. I actually did change mouthpiece. I went back to my old, really old Bach 3C mouthpiece, which is beautiful. And I think it just allowed me to engage with the sound a little bit more. Incidentally, I am using an 8R resonance. This is the MSFL46. So that's, for tech heads out there, that's around about a 65 rim. If you're thinking about GR, and probably somewhere between a 5 and a 7 if you're thinking Bach, etc. And probably what's that in a Schelke, a 14 or something. Anyway, and it's a shorter mouthpiece. It's relatively free blowing. As you can hear, I can play it. It's absolutely fine. So there's obviously some component and dynamic that I just need to practice a little bit more into my flugelhorn playing. Anyway, I've talked way too much, getting on for 7 minutes here, and I always try to do it in about half that. So that's pretty much it. Thanks very much, everyone in Positive Trumpeters worldwide. If you are a trumpeter and you are looking for some fantastic advice, some great chat, and just a really, really nice place to hang out and chat trumpet, head over to Positive Trumpeters Worldwide and request to join. It is a private group, so you will have to request that, and obviously it's a nice place to hang out without any grief or anything. And I've had comments from all over the world, and like I said, George Zebka called me from Chicago just to have a chat out of the goodness of his heart, and that was fantastic. So I'm going to get out of here. Thanks very much, folks. There will be more channel stuff coming up just now. I'm actually on, it's Dreamkillers I'm on just now, and I'm in the studio tonight just to get a run through of this, which is going to be happening next week with a local amateur dramatics or amateur operatic society, I think. Anyway, that's all. Thanks for watching. A bit chatty in this one, no playing, but like I said, it's a massive big thanks to Positive Trumpeters Worldwide, and I'll see you out there soon. Cheers, folks. Bye-bye.